In this video we will review two different ways of impositioning with PrintVis, mainly to demonstrate how PrintVis versioning can help optimizing print. We will begin by pulling up a request for quote from our customer. The quote contains a set of different products for segments and geographic areas. The customer is also asking for some inserts which should only be put in some of the variants. We begin by using the new quote link from our roll center, so we get a new case card in status quote. Then we add the customer name to it and write the product group. The job name is an important identifier in production and later on for order searches. We begin by creating a new job line with appropriate details. Our next step is to write an overview of the final product parts. We click on the button Product Parts. We write a description of each product part. And we write the quantity ordered for each product part. All product parts must be mentioned here, so we have a full list. When the list is full and complete, we can close the window, but we can go in here anytime to review the list. Now we are ready to further describe the printing job in the system. We open the job card. We use the product group with the template, so we already have job components available. We can change what is necessary and pick a printing machine. We move to the line of the appropriate printing machine and press OK. We are now ready to specify the components we will use to make our product parts. We open the Versions Variants window by clicking on the button. This window will help us sort out the combinations of component variants which will make up our final product parts. Each line gets a variant. The system will create a new variant for every new code we input, also misspellings. A type error can easily be corrected at this point by input of the proper code. We assign a code to each line in the grid. When all components are defined, the page is closed by OK. We can now begin the imposition work with variants on printing sheets. In the Combined Sheets window, we see the variants of the job item, in this case the text block from the magazine. We want to assign these to a set of plates, and we use Assist button to see the plates sets. The first plate set does not have a code, so the line looks empty even if it isn't. We press OK to assign the variant to the printing sheet and plate set. Then we add a plate change to this process by clicking the Add Plate Change button. Now we pick the next version by clicking on Assist button. We see that our added plate change has number 1. This is the one we want for now. We click the line and click OK to pick it. After assigning each variant, we have a list of variants on plate sets. We can now repeat the process for the cover variants. So we make sure that we are on the cover component in the table and click the Combine Sheets button again. This time it looks a little different. This is because the component fits more than one time on the printing sheet. The system is preparing options for up choices available and allows us to calculate how many prints will be in how many ups. The Assist button guides to the overview window. Pick the column with the desirable number of ups, looking at the quantity and the quantity of the other components. Again, the first plate set does not have a name or number, so it will look empty. Just click the OK button so we pick it. We picked a 3-up on the first component variant, so now we want to have a 1-up. So we match the variant based on the end quantity and the ups. Because the component variants were in very different quantities, it made sense to put 3-ups of one of them and only 1-up of the other. And in this line now we see that we have picked 2 variants on the same plate set. Now we prepare for the next 2 component variants by creating a plate change. And we begin the process of impositioning choice on this as well. The plate change line has number 1 and will be numbered for each new we have added if there were more sets needed. We click OK to pick line number 1. Finally, we pick the last version and apply it to the plate set. Again, as we apply the variant to the plate change, we can see the variant which is already on it. And after applying all component variants to the plate sets, the overview will show the codes and quantities. The estimation now knows how we want to proceed with the printing and how many prints are needed for each printing sheet and each plate change of those. To evaluate this, we go to the estimation. 2 printing processes have been created. To view the calculation of net prints and plates, we click on the printing price unit. And we see that the plate change has been added. Depending on setup, etc., more or less time for plate changes will be added to the machine time estimate. The press runs are calculated based on each plate change quantity from the combination sheet overview. Now we go back to the job card to describe the inserts, which have all different sizes and shapes than the actual magazine. We start by creating a new printing sheet for them. We define the first job item as well as we can. This may mean a change of paper, sizes, pages and colors. These things are put in as required from the customer. For each new job item we want on this sheet, we add a new line by clicking on the Extra Job Item button. We then define the parameters for this particular new job item. The product group will provide some suggested parameters, and in these special cases they should of course be changed so that we can create exactly the job item we need. In this case, the field conjugated with has the value of 2 for magazines, brochures and books, etc. But it's 1 for single sheets. So we will change this value to 1 before we add the number of pages. The 48 pages of print is suggested from our input on the front page. it's the case card, and we can now change this to 2, reflecting a single sheet printed front and back. We add the last job item and follow the same procedure. Again, we change the conjugation before we change the number of pages. It's important that the job item text is carefully written in these combined printing sheets. It helps everybody with the identification. We now have 3 objects on the same printing sheet. Now we must define how we want to combine our job items with the magazine variants we have put in. Again, we create our variant codes by writing in the columns. At this point, not all lines must have a code. Only some of the product variants will have inserts. So this pattern would be likely. Empty lines because the insert is not relevant for the segment for this product variant. So this is a very likely scenario, and this is now the plan we will follow in production. After closing the window, the quantities of each component have now been recalculated, and there are very different quantities on 3 job items which are planned to share the same printing sheet. For the inserts, we are now using the best PrintVis guess on imposition of the sheet. First of all, it's really important that all details are correct. To best see how PrintVis has suggested the imposition, we will go through the estimating window. And again, we will click on the line which has the new printing sheet. We can see the job item descriptions from each job item and the print calculation below. From this page, each imposition will be visible to the estimator. Just by clicking on the line of the printing process, the relevant imposition and technical specifications will be shown only for this sheet. So we click on the specifications button. PrintVis will have made a suggestion for the imposition of job items based on their size and the size of the printing paper chosen. In this page, the estimator will look at the paper usage to see if something could be optimized. Perhaps a change of paper would be better. Also, the scrap printing method and numbers up of each item can be overruled. With F5, the user will see the changes in imposition. A list of the job items with the details that are relevant to them are shown in the lower left of the page. Now we have completed the auto imposition of PrintVis for 3 job items.